Mr. Bao is an active volunteer in the Metro Atlanta Chinese community. And Juntao, you know, it's amazing work that they're doing. He's leading a nonprofit foundation that strives to strengthen cultural and educational exchange between China and the US. And some of the work that they do actually help a lot of accomplished children, but they live under poverty standards, so they assist with scholarship and education assistance. Juntao has been very active with the census count, which is very important, and actually served part of the Atlanta Contemporary Chinese Academy. So with that, I would love to welcome Mr. Bao for his couple of minutes of remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, my name is Juntao Bao, President of Sina USA Next Generation Foundation. It's my great honor be selected as one of 25 most influential Asian Americans in Georgia. Next Generation Foundation was founded in 2009, and its mission is to help kids, children from the low income family. And in the past 5 years, we helped 143 kids, and in 13 areas in country China and Taiwan. We are very proud of that. And all of our people involved in Next Generation Foundation activities are all volunteers. We don't have any pay, we don't have any reimbursement. Everybody is volunteer. And to ensure our funds to transfer to those kids, we send our volunteers to deliver the funds to these kids directly, not any middle-tier agency. So, and we believe every child is a student, and every student has a right to get an education. So we work with a lot of people, thousands people in Atlanta and North America to ensure, we try to make sure that economic expense will not deprive a child of education. That's our goal. Thank you. Have a good evening.
I would like to welcome and congratulate Ms. Noi Lonarai. Noi is joining me here on the stage. She's the current president of the Laotian American Society of Georgia. Noi works actively with UPS. She's the sales operations manager there. But beyond what she does for work, Noi is the president of the Laotian American Society, serving her third term as president. And this is actually a very active community group that serves families and children. And she is a member of the Asian Pacific American Council and really believes in volunteering and community service. Noi, I would love to join you for a couple of remarks.
Thank you, Georgia Asian Town, for giving me the opportunity, being one of the most 25 most influential Asian American in Georgia. I am pleased to be here tonight among you guys, among all the honorees. And the Laotian American Society is a nonprofit organization like most of the nonprofit or the organization in Georgia. Our vision and mission is to preserve the culture of Laotian, and with the education, do the cultural dance performance, like I said, one of our biggest programs is the EAC, which is the Education Award Ceremony that's being held annually every year in August. And that's when we promote the students of higher education and encourage the students from K to 12 to do better in school, because there are a younger generation that they will be our next generation, and we need them there. Thank you.
awardee, I would like to celebrate and congratulate Ms. Estrella Kramer. If we can invite Ms. Estrella. Wonderful. Congratulations. Estrella will join us here with me. She's the current corporate procurement manager with UPS as well, and she has over 25 years with UPS. But more importantly, it's her service, and she's very proud of that. She's the chair of the board for the U.S. Pan-Asian American Chamber of Commerce in the Southeast chapter. And she's actually very active also with the Asian American Peace Officer of Georgia. And it's a professional and community group that celebrates law enforcement agents of Asian American heritage. She is actually recognized as Georgia's citizen, outstanding citizen by the Secretary of State in 2013. So we're very proud of you and what you do. So come up here and give us a couple of words.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I'm very humbled and grateful for this award that's given to me. I'd like to extend my thanks to Georgia Asian Times, and I would like to share this award with all the mentors, advisors, friends that I made along the way with the volunteer work that I do for the community. And as I mentioned before, or as Wendy mentioned, I've been with UPS for 25 years now, and I've seen a lot of changes in UPS, as you probably heard about it. But one thing that remained constant and never changing is the commitment of UPS to be able to serve and give back to the community. And I would like to appreciate how UPS allowed me to be a small part in delivering the commitment to serve the community. I would also like to share this award with all the community volunteers for all the generous time, effort, resources that you guys do every day. Aside from your normal job and your family, I know it takes a lot that you have to give back to the community and share your talent and your time. And also, I would like to thank Marcellus, as I've said last year. Thank you for not just being in my life, but being my life. And,
Go Marcellus!
And in closing, I would like to just extend my influence, whatever that is, to all of you, to continue to strive to make our memories greater than our dreams. Thank you.
We love you!
So, you know what? One of the things that I really want to try, and Lee, humor me, we're actually kind of working on the fly. The journey that everyone comes here is both their own work, but it also speaks of the path they had come from before. So for each awardee as they come up, I would actually like for them to announce their country of origin or their heritage of origin. So you really get the perspective. When we say Asian, it just feels like this one single word, but it represents so many stories from places where we come from, what we represent, but more importantly, where we've chosen to make our home and make our impact, which is right here. Right here in the state of Georgia, right here in the USA, great US of A. So, I want to start, I think Mr. Bao, China, mainland China?
Yes.
Yes, who was the next person? Noi, what was your country of origin? Laos, wonderful. Estrella? The Philippines, wonderful. Already there. Okay, so in your mental mind, I need you to map where they're going. So I'm testing your geography at the same time, too. So with that said, we're going to move on to the next awardee. And this is the lovely Miss Ladam. She's a darling. So Ms. Ladam Down, she's the current president of the Asian American Pacific American Council. If you would join Lee here, down. And she's the current president of APAC, as I was describing. Ladam currently serves as a field tax auditor for the Georgia Department of Labor. So be very nice. We have a tax lady in our midst. So Ladam is Oh, she's served a number of leadership positions in the community. She's very active, some of which actually includes the Atlanta Regional Commission Youth Council, the Atlanta Asian Film Festival, as well as the International Association of Workforce Professionals. She is tireless and very, very gracious. So if I can invite La Dame, if you would give us a few words of remarks. Congratulations.
Greeting everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Asian Times. Tim was asking me how many times is this. It's a great honor for me to be here representing APAC, which is consistent of 15 different Asian groups. And I am from Vietnam. I'm representing the Vietnamese American community of Georgia also. With APAC, we have, every year we have to promote our cultures, our grassroots cultures, and also we're promoting our young people. We give out scholarships every year for high school graduate college bound. Also, we have the next fundraiser we're going to have is the golf tournament, and I hope that you all can join us. This is one of our big fundraising. This is where we get the money to give out the scholarship to our students in the Asian community. And enjoy yourself, and thank you, and congratulations to all the recipients tonight. We deserve it, honestly. We working hard. I'm not shy. So one more time, congratulations.
See, I told you that lady was feisty. All right, so the next person is actually very dear to my heart, Miss Helen Kim Ho. Very, very proud of you. Helen, if you'll join me here on stage. She currently serves as the Executive Director of Asian American Legal Advocacy Center here in Georgia. Helen has been very dedicated to building this first nonprofit in the state, and really actually in the Southeast, dedicated to promoting civil, social, and economic rights of Asian Americans here in the region. Helen has been incredible. I mean, she has organized numerous social justice campaigns, including some recent efforts around defeating the SR Bill 1031 and a call to the end of anti-immigrant legislation in the Georgia Capitol. So, Helen, if you would join us to give us a few words of remarks.
Thanks, Wendy. And Wendy and I decided that we are officially cousins because we both share the name Ho, right? So we are Ho's by relation, not just name. Thank you so much. I'm very humbled. Thank you so much, Lee and Georgia Asian Times, for this awards that we even have it. I think our community suffers sometimes from being invisible to the broader public, and that needs to change, and it is changing. I work with a lot of you guys in the room, and I'm sure, our group just so proud to lead Asian American Legal Advocacy Center, and, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, just like others in the room, but we focus on building power for the common good, and by that I mean power for our community, not for any political party. And I really want to first thank the courage and insight of our community members that helped us build this organization from the ground up, and not be afraid to use your voice to speak out on issues, rightfully so, as citizens and as members of our democracy. So thank you for joining us. And I really didn't have a speech, but I did want to say, I'll just share a story with you if it's okay. Last weekend, my husband was interviewing this Filipino-American man who just released a documentary. His name is Jose. He is a Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and writer. Amazing, amazing man. And he was flown from the Philippines to California to live with his grandparents many years ago. And obviously became a huge success, worked at CNN, New York Times, Washington Post. But before then, and between coming to America and this documentary, at 16 years old, he found out that he was undocumented. meaning his grandparents were citizens, but the way he was brought over, he was not a citizen himself. And that really impacted his journey. And 2 years ago, he decided to come out of the shadows, seeing the struggles that many other millions of immigrants face, and announce publicly in the New York Times that he was undocumented and became an activist to try and push for immigration reform. So I know this is controversial, or that's what some people say, but I am going to use this platform right now because many people here are friends of mine. Many of you guys are immigrants yourselves, or your parents are immigrants. I really think that we can't let partisan politics and other people's opinions really impact what we know as human beings and as family members with friends or relatives who face a lot of problems and issues, from speaking out and using our voice through the ballot box and through education to really make a change. Our immigration laws are incredibly out of date. They were passed in 1965 for the most part. So can you imagine trying to deal with visa issues based on what America looked like in the 60s to what it is now? And I'm sure if you've been reading the news, there are tens of thousands of children who are being sent across the border because they are fleeing persecution and extreme poverty. No parent, any parent in the room would never think to send their child on a dangerous trip alone unless they were that desperate. So I just want you guys, I know there are a lot of big hearts in the room, think about that. And we are all in very privileged situations to even be sitting here. So I really encourage us, everybody in the room, whatever you can do, when we take our clothes off and our makeup off, we're all human beings at heart. Let's use what power and voice we have to help everyone in our community that can't be here and beyond the Asian community. Thank you so much.
There's someone who speaks with passion and conviction to her cause. So proud of you, Helen. So to the next person, I would like to honor and celebrate, if you'll join me in honoring Tim Herr. Tim is the CEO, broker president, and Points Honors Associate, but truly Tim does so much more, right? He's very active in the Korean Gwinnett Duluth community. And actually he was named one of the top 35 under 35 in Gwinnett County itself. Young man, very accomplished, very driven. He was actually a past president of the Atlanta chapter of the Asian Real Estate Association of America. But as we're talking about activism and political involvement, Tim is so passionate that in serving his community that he even recently ran in the primary for the Georgia House of Representatives, seated District 105. So congratulations for your passion and your commitment. Come up and address us, please.
It's an honor to be receiving this award, but I would like to say that this award really doesn't come to me. Although my name is unscripted in this class, it's actually for everyone in this room and everyone who actually supports people like me and supports everyone in this room, because we wouldn't be here doing what we do without everyone's support here and the support that people behind the scenes. We don't really get the recognition, we might get the honor of me being people being on. So with that being said, I don't want to keep you away from. It's going to be me in your car, so I'll let you go back to dinner. But thank you so much for this award. But everyone in this room should be recognized for their work. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. The next honoree that I want to recognize. Now, don't let me hold you from dinner. Please enjoy your dining choices where you have there that actually looks very good. Save me a plate, table 6. I'm looking at you. Mr. Paget, thank you very kindly. So as we're going through the program, we're doing wonderfully. You can see there's a lot of diversity in the kinds of work that we do, the kinds of service that we think applies to our strength and passion. So this person is no different and quite special, actually. I would like for us to celebrate the next honoree, Mr. Meng Lim. So as he's making his way, I'm actually very touched by this. Meng's family are Cambodian Chinese who escaped the genocides in Cambodia in the early 1980s. and has successfully resettled in Bremen, Georgia as refugees. He had found his way to here, our sweet home in Georgia and Atlanta, and he had graduated with a BA in Emory, a law degree here in the state. And to take that journey and say, you know what, I'm going to do more. Meng recently he's currently in a runoff race for the position of Superior Court Judge in Tallapoosa Judicial Court. That is a journey. That's one lifetime, that's one man, one family. We're really most proud. If you would do us the honors and give us a few words.
Thank you. I'm honored to receive this award, and even happier to be among such wonderful people and meeting you guys all who want to make an impact in our state and our different communities. A little bit about myself. I live in Harrison County in Tallapoosa, Georgia. If you guys don't know where that is, it's about an hour west of Atlanta. Practically, if you run I-20 toward Alabama, you will hit our place. The place is really rural, not much going on there with the economy, but as far as the community, you can't ask for a better community than where I grew up. When I first went to that community, you know, the people opened up their arms and their homes and welcomed my family, who probably the only Asian in that whole county. And, you know, the teachers, they would take us out on Saturdays and on the day off to go to Walmart and show us the different items on the shelf and name them so I could learn a couple more words for my school. You know, when time for school trips, and, you know, all students, we try to send people to DC and around the state so we could study our history. My family couldn't afford for me to go on such trips, and the local community would donate money for me to go, and I never knew who they were. They just remained anonymous. It just went on, you know, as an immigrant. We all deal with the language barrier, the cultural barrier, and a lot of times finances. And, you know, for my parents, it took a toll on them. And at some point, I ended up in foster care. And my art teacher, who happened to be in the room when the prefect's lady came in and asked to see if someone would help me out, you know, he just immediately said he'll take me in. And, you know, there's a process to become a foster parent. You have to go to certain classes and all that stuff. He didn't care. He just wanted to help. And, you know, living with them really taught me a whole lot of things about what I want to do, what's important in life. But above all that things, the things that people in my community has done for me, make me realize how lucky I am, you know, to be not just in America, but in this community. And so ever since I finished online education, I went back to my community and lived there, raised my family there now. And so now, you know, it's time for me to try to do, and I have been, you know, trying to do whatever I can for my community as well. There are situations where people needed legal help, and I just do what I can, because I remember when we were needing legal help and different kind of things, people helped us. So I try to do as much as I can, and I hope that if I do become a judge, that I'll be able to do what's right and to make our community strong. But seriously, I want to say I am so happy to be around people who want to make an impact for America, because America truly did save my family and save me. I can't even imagine where I would be today if I didn't come to America. So I applaud all of y'all for trying to make a difference. Thank you.
an amazing story. That's a family, and that actually speaks to the generosity of the American people as well. Open your arms, you take us in, and you just say, you're one of us, and we'll take care of you too. So with that said, I would love to welcome our next honoree. And you know what my goal is? Someone has an hour drive after this, back to all the way up to Alabama, just about, close to. You're a Georgia son, so we're keeping you. But, so that means we're gonna keep a good clip for tonight so that you can enjoy dinner and then get home to your families at a very decent hour. With that said, I would like to recognize the next awardee, Dao Malaikong. Very dear friend. Dao is going to be joining me here. Dao is very active in the Asian community. You will not attend a single community event or service and not see her bright face, her family there, her time, her resources poured into making that a success as well. Dao is a founding member of the Lao Center, and what that is actually a community center focused on the Laotian American community diaspora in the Southeast region. The center provides U.S. citizenship class, ESL lessons, after school programming for children, lots of great stuff to support the community. So we're very proud of you, Dao. You will come up and say a few words with us.
Thank you, Wendy, for the kind words. Okay, I didn't have a speech ready because I just want to come up here and share with you the story of the Laotian American here in Georgia, especially my story. I came out of Laos as a refugee in 1975 to Thailand, stayed there for about a year, camp, and then here in the United States. But before I forget, I want to thank you for this honor. This is my fourth time up here. But it doesn't get old because each time we get recognized for the things that we do, that we always try to outdo ourselves. Because I remember 2 years ago, my business partner, Tim Lee, he was up here giving a speech, and he challenged us. He challenged us to make an impact, to give back to the community. And for that reason, we started the Laotian Center. Okay, let me see. I thought I wasn't going to be nervous, but I am nervous. Okay, the Laotian American Society is a nonprofit organization. Noi, who served as the president, she is doing such a wonderful job. Our goal, our dream was to have a center. Okay, so we decided to reach out to the community, to the Laotian community especially. In Georgia here we have about, according to the U.S. Census, we have about 6,600 Laotian here in Georgia. But I know that we have more than that, but because of lack of understanding of language, of filling out the U.S. Census, we're not counted. So that's why it is so important for us to have this mission to establish the Lao Center to teach our children to have higher education, to teach them the importance of cultural preservation, and the language is very important to us. So, and not just that, to teach the mainstream who we are, so that our children, I have 2 daughters, they're in school, they don't feel like they fit in because they look different. They feel, intimidated. And I told them, I said, you are special. You are an American because you look different. You don't have, to be treated differently. So that is one of my goals, why I work so hard in the community, to make my children, let them have, that accepted as an American, as a Laotian American. And I just want to say thank you to everyone here that I have worked with that support us without your support, we would not have that center, because that center is funded by the generosity of our sponsors, and being UPS is one of our biggest sponsors. And did I take too long? No, I just want to say thank you, everyone, and thank you, Lee, again.
So the next awardee I'd like to recognize is Mr. Viren Mayani. So if you will join me up here on the stage. Thank you, sir. He's the current president of the Georgia Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. Viren has a very, very powerful past. He has served in the office of our former mayor, Shirley Franklin, and overseeing a budget of over $200 million. But while he was doing that, he's also working very diligently with nonprofit boards here in the Atlanta area. Part of the work that he does actually works very closely with the King family at the King National Historic Site through the Gandhi Foundation of the U.S. Incredible stuff. You also serve with the Georgia Symphony Orchestra Board to do music programs for at-risk kids. Just amazing stuff. And if you would join us and give us a couple of words of remarks.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings. Unlike others, I didn't have my notes, so as a scout, I was always taught to be prepared. By this honor, I am humbled at multiple levels tonight. I'm humbled that this great nation of ours adopted me, a young Indian, as a citizen many moons ago and gave me the opportunity to thrive. Inasmuch as the Georgia Asian Times that took the advantage and positioned itself as one of the premier publishing representatives of all Asian Americans in Georgia. Secondly, if you look at the GAD roster of all the top 25 honorees, I'm humbled to be included in their company. After all, I have worked with 8 of the 25 honorees on projects directly or indirectly affecting our kin. Finally, I'm humbled by all the people and the organizations they lead to allow me to dominantly participate in their growth, which culminates in my being recognized as one of the 25 honorees. I've had the blessings to work with 3 Nobel laureates, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, His Grace Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and the banker of the poor, Dr. Muhammad Yunus. As you heard, I served Mayor Franklin, one of the top 5 mayors in the United States, and was a White House guest of the First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama, to celebrate the Indian Festival of Lights with her last November, besides other milestones. I'm honored by this recognition and thank my wife Rivka for being by my side in all endeavors, albeit regretfully, she couldn't make it tonight due to mommy responsibilities. I wish to thank the Georgia Asian Times for their kind consideration and their awesome annual celebration. I also wish to recognize and thank Travis Allen. Travis, if you would stand, please. The founder of iSchool Initiative, whose advisory board I serve amongst 12 other organizations, and who's here to celebrate with me. He makes a compelling grassroots campaign case to alter a basic education system, K through 12. So congratulations to all my peers. Congratulations, Lee Wong, for an awesome evening. God bless us all. God bless America.
This next lady is very special to us. If you would join me in honoring Miss Carla Wong McMillan, Superior Court Judge. Let me just read you very high notes of her accomplishments. Judge Carla Wong was appointed to the Georgia Court of Appeals by Governor Nathan Deal, taking office January of last year. Born and raised in Augusta, Georgia, she is the first Asian Pacific American state appellate judge ever to be appointed in the Southeast. Prior to joining the Court of Appeals, Judge McMillan served as the state court judge for Fayette County And in 2012, the voters of Fayette County overwhelmingly elected her to a full term over another sitting judge, making her the first minority woman elected countywide to any office in Fayette County history, and the first Asian American female judge to be elected in Georgia. What can I say? Girl power. Come on and give us a big round.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much to the Georgia Asian Times and Lee for this award. And I have to say the reach of the Georgia Asian Times is far, because my mother, who lives in Augusta, I knew about this award before I had a chance to tell her. She had heard from her friends and who had seen it in the paper. So you have a very wide publication rate. I just want to say I never expected to be here in this position even 5 years ago. I was practicing law downtown in a big firm, and I expected to be there my entire career. But what changed for me was that there were some positions open in Fayette County, and the governor got to a point, and I thought about, did I want to put my name into the hat? And frankly, I was a little afraid about doing that. I wasn't sure about going into public service and having to be elected to an office, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to leave my law practice. But after taking a look at my two kids, who at the time were 3 and 7, I decided that I needed to do that in order to show them what it was to take a risk and to serve the community where they're going to be growing up. So with that, I applied for the position of a state court judge, and I was honored when I was appointed by Governor Perdue. And I was further honored last year when Governor Deal decided to put his trust in me and to appoint me to the Court of Appeals. I'm also honored to let you know that in addition to being the first Asian American judge appointed to the court in the Southeast, the appellate courts in the Southeast, this past May, I had to run for my first election. As I said, as a judge, you're always having to run for election for your next campaign. And I was on the ballot on May 20th, and I was elected. I didn't have opposition, which is frankly the best way to run if you can do that. And because of that, the Court of Appeals is a statewide position. There are 12 of us who serve. We review all the judgments and decisions from the trial courts from across the state, which means that when we run for election, we run statewide. Because of that, I am now, in winning that election, I am now the first Asian American to be elected statewide in Georgia history, and I'm really proud. I tell you that not because I want to tout my own accomplishments, but I want to say, growing up in Augusta, Georgia, my grandparents immigrated here in 1920, so my family's been here a long time. When I was growing up, we didn't see Asian Americans in leadership positions, and in fact, I can remember my father being excited when we would see an Asian on TV, because that would be the only Asians we would see. But now I see a room full of Asian American leaders in all industries and nonprofits and government service, and I'm just overwhelmed by the leadership that we have in this room, and I encourage all of you to not waste that opportunity and continue to mentor the next generation of young Asian Americans, some of whom are sitting here in this room tonight, to become the leaders of our future. So thank you very much, and thank you for the support.
Our next awardee is Mr. Randy Moon. He's the CEO of the Encore Resource Center. Randy, we're going to be here on the platform. Randy has been passionate about improving the lives of refugees, and through the creation of the Encore Resource Center, it serves the Asian community through programs like anti-Asian violence, hate crime prevention, immigration and advocacy work. And so currently his work brings him into close contact with agencies, government, nonprofit organizations in service of the local community. Randy, if you'll join us in giving him a few words of remarks.
Thank you, thank you. I'm so honored. Thank you, Georgia Times. So I guess this is the closest thing to winning an Oscar award, right? Better. Like an Oscar award winner, I do have a list of thank you notes here that I would like to read out. How much time do I have? 20 minutes? Mr. Lee, it's okay if I could bring a couple people here up with me to share, because without them I wouldn't be here. Mr. NC and Mr. Franklin Lee, if you could join me up on stage. Come on up, guys. First and foremost, I would like to thank my lovely wife, Shanti. She's over there for her support and encouragement. I would like to thank my supporters such as Franklin Lee, Vaughn, NC, and Sona, and many more for believing in me. This event is to honor the top 25 most influential Asian American in Georgia. Speaking of influence, this is NC. He's one of our leaders in the Cambodian community. Oh yeah, by the way, we're from the Cambodian community down south of Atlanta. And within 60 days, NC and I were able to unite Cambodian leaders throughout the state of Georgia from all sectors, religion, business, nonprofit, and to come together to create the Cambodian Town of Georgia project. And Georgia will be the third state in America to have Cambodian Town. So we're excited about that. With this project, we will attempt to rebuild our business district in South Metro Atlanta and provide more economic opportunity for our business leaders. And many great things will come out from Cambodian Town projects to the world. This project means nothing, but to the Cambodian community, this project means the world to us. And we can't do it alone, we need your support. So we're trying to make history. Cambodian Town Project is the future. And please come join us to make history with us, Cambodian Town 2015. And Australia, I owe you an R for the last event, so I'll pay you back for that R.
The next awardee I'd like to welcome is Ms. Trish Nguyen. She is the current president of the Vietnamese American Community of Georgia, VACA. Trish is, again, very active in the local community area. You would know her if you served in this community even remotely. And her work really spans the benefit of running the entire daily operations of VACA related to health and human services, elderly support, education programs for youth, and even cultural programs. So we're very proud to have you. Trish, again, will you join us?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honors here today, and I never dreamed of to be accepting these honors from Mr. Lee Wong. Thank you, Georgia Time, Asian Time. Without my community's volunteers and my board, I would not be here today. And also without all your support, we are VAC of Georgia, which is the Vietnamese community of Vietnamese American Community of Georgia, a non-profit organization. We working closely with different organizations in Georgia, helping the youth program, and also trying to establish and making the difference in the community. Would like to expand our community out, and also without your support, we would not make it here today or expanding our community out here. We would like to get your support, and also with everyone's help, we would be able to make the difference in the youth community, which I'm very young as the president of the Vietnamese community of Georgia, based on some of the past presidents. I never had dreamed of to be the president of the community, and also standing here amongst all the honorees. Thank you very much for all your support, but also thank you to Ms. Thai Lee and Lidam, and they are my right arms, have been helping me a lot, and give me time, give me mentor, give me time to grow, and I have been established, and very thank you to them very much, and thank you everybody today, and you all deserve your thank you.
Honoree we want to celebrate tonight is Mr. Tony Patel. Mr. Tony, if you will join us, join Lee up here. He's the architect of Newport Design Group. Amazing projects. Let me just give you some highlights. You might know some of these. The Atlanta Braves Baseball Stadium, the Atlanta Olympic Stadium, some programs out in Guam and Saipan, the Dubai Festival Center, some of these top hotel brands like Westin and Hilton and Marriott. You work on amazing fun projects and you still call Atlanta home. We're very proud of that. But not just past his work, Tony also works very actively as a political strategist for numerous political campaigns. And because he has a big heart, his charitable service even goes all the way back to India, where his family runs a non-profit organization, a charitable trust in rural Western India. So Tony, congratulations. Please join us here.
Now, don't be fooled by the picture with this tie and coat and the one that I'm wearing now, because today in the office, I was roaming around with a cape and a head that was this big, and I was making sure that everybody knew that I'm D1. So, not that it went to our heads, the other honorees here, but, you know, we all know that we do this not for the awards or for the accolades, but we do it because it's really something that we love doing. It's customer service, it's public service. It's making others' lives a little bit better, only because of the influences that maybe we can help them out with, the connections that we have. In my case, those connections is a lifelong mission. Everything that I do leads to hopefully a connection that will be a benefit to somebody else down the road. The Braves Atlanta Stadium, you know, great project for an architect, but at the end of that rainbow, you look at the contractors that are working on the projects, because that contractor that works for minimum wage, at some point, is going to be building somebody's room addition. Because in the last 4 years, of course, the industry collapsed. So if I can improve that person's life, I've done my job. And I think all the honorees here do the same thing. In the room today, I just want to make sure that I acknowledge those people that brought me to this stage. First of all, my parents are here, and I got to tell you that my dad and my mom rarely go out together, because my dad's retired, my mom's retired, and you know, they've gone to all these events before, so they'd much rather sit at home. So I had to struggle and say, at least one of you please show up. Today, it was great, they both showed up, which was really nice. Also, my business partner was a photographer down here with VanityWallet.com. This man is amazing. He shipped 80 containers from China of the world's greatest granite. A lot of that granite goes in the hotels that we design. But what's more important is he's the photographer, so he's going to make me look really good so I can have more of these pictures on here. And my head can even grow even bigger. So, Rick Desai. Rick, take a bow. He was also an honoree before. Senator Steve Henson, the Democratic leader of the Senate in Georgia. This man, you know, he shows up when I ask him. He's available via text messaging, cell phone, whatnot. Keeps me kind of in line. You know, if I've got a question, at least I know who to talk to in the Senate. There's Erica Pines. She's not sitting at my table, but Erica Pines is the leader of the Fulton County Democratic Party. This woman keeps everybody in shape and makes sure that I continue to do what I need to do to support our citizens. Thank you, Erica. Liz Flowers right next to her is our person on the hill, right on the hill in Georgia. And she makes sure that our state representatives, senators are doing their jobs and that we know about it, so that folks like me, when I've got a question, at least I can get that question back to Liz in some way, some shape or form, and then she makes sure that gets over to the right elected official so that our work gets done. Lastly, well, almost lastly, my wife is here, and I got to tell you, I couldn't be up here, and those of you that are married in the room will attest to this. If we don't have the spouses at home that help us, that allow us to do what we do, there's no way that we would be here, because politics is not paid. Our jobs pay. So when we're doing this, this is really a hobby. But luckily my wife earns a living, and so I'm able to play a little bit. Janice didn't expect this, but Janice is in our office, and she is the glue that holds together our entire team of about 30 people that come and go. She makes sure the coffee's made. Thank you, Janice. Keeps us going. That shot of coffee is really what gets it going. She makes sure that when we misbehave, Rick and I, that she points us in the right direction.